Good afternoon and welcome to Crescent Theater. Dobré odpoledne, vážení. Dnes budeme promítat film, we will screen film Father, Slovakian currently, which is the Czech, Slovak and Polish co-production. And the film started its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival this year, which was a very big honor for Slovakia. Not very often it happens that we have films in Venice Film Festival. It went on to win the main award of the Zurich Film Festival. It won main actors award in Warsaw, and it's shortlisted for the European Film Academy Award. So the film every day, as Anya say, they wake up and there is a new award. So let's hope you enjoy it. We have a very special delegation here. We have, I want to introduce to the new Consul General of the Czech Republic, because Arnold he was the Consul General in New York. So he came from New York, and we're very happy. He's the film lover, and we hope that we will have a lot of fruitful cooperations. I would like to introduce the filmmakers of the film. We have a Czech actress, Anna Geislerová. And we have the producers from Slovakia, Veronika, Paštekova, and Anton, Skreko. And we have the co-writer, Dušan Budzak. Yes. Unfortunately, the director of the movie, Tereza Nvotová, couldn't be here with us because she's shooting the biggest ever series in Slovakia. And she will be having little reading at the end of the movie. So please stay after the credits end. She will have a little video and reading for you. And I will give the microphone to Anya.
I don't know why I always get this honor to speak before the screening, but I'm happy because it's going to be great speech. Then very shortly, you are a really beautiful crowd, and we are very happy that you came to see our movie. Please enjoy. Please stay after the movie to talk to us. Even if you don't like it, stay. We like to hear it. We like to talk and exchange opinions. And try watch the film not only with your eyes, but with your heart and your feelings. Maybe feel it more than see it. And we will see you after the movie. So enjoy. Thank you.
With my welcome moderator, Carlos Aguilar, who writes for Variety and LA Times, New York Times. And secretly also, I can tell you, or not secretly anymore, but he wrote an amazing review in Variety about this film. Anya, thank you, Carlos. Anna Geislerová, EP, the executive producer and actress. And we have producer Veronika Pastekova from Slovakia. And we have the producer Anton, Skreko from Slovakia. And we have the co-writer Dušan Budzak, who wrote a book and who was also the best friend of the main character here in the movie.
I'll ask him a few questions and then we'll have some time. If you guys want to chime in with some questions as well. Dušan, I'll start with you since I know that you had a personal connection to someone who experienced something similar to what the audience just watched. Can you talk about sort of that relationship and why you decided to sort of bring it to the screen?
Yes. At first, I wrote the book, as Tatiana mentioned, and after that, I was thinking about how to film it. At first, I met Veronika, and we were thinking about it, how we can do that. It was not complicated part of it. The most complicated part on the beginning was to find a right director. And we are very happy that we found Tereza, because she's absolutely talented and she's very nice person. And back to your question, how we did it. So we did it.
But how challenging was it to sort of deal with sort of the reality and then make it into a fiction? I mean, it's a difficult subject matter to even approach. You know, it needs a certain talent and subtlety and sort of like touch to really approach it in a respectful manner.
You know, there's a difference between the book and film, because in the book it's detailed. It's something like documentary. When I was together with them, so I remember every moment of that horrible days. But the film is something different. Film consists also, certainly, it was inspiration for the film, but it was not just one thing we were going through with Tereza, because we made a research all over the world, especially here in the US, because many cases like that happen here. And what you've seen in the film, it's something like concentration of all the cases which happen all around the world. So we were working like that because it's very interesting that sometimes what happened is very similar. It doesn't matter if it is in Slovakia or in France or in California. It is very similar, and the emotions are very similar, and the situation is very similar. And the biggest motivation for me and then also for Tereza was, when it happened. So this absolutely great tragedy, we cannot imagine how big it was. So people were just judging them. They were calling for big punishment, execution, and things like that. And in the situation when they were absolutely down, and it was very important for them to give them a hand, people were trying to punish them. And our motivation was to speak, and I hope the film is about it. It's not about the tragedy. We were trying to speak about the love, about empathy, about your feeling in the heart, trying to make people better.
Maybe I can say about my motivation, because I'm mother. I have here 2 kids. One of them is 5 years old, and he's as old as the project, because we started when he was born. And my motivation is I knew nothing about forgotten baby syndrome before. I read Dusan's book, and it is nightmare for every parent to if something like this happened, and I wanted to know why. I wanted to know more, and I think it is very important to tell the story, and maybe if the discussion opens, it can maybe somehow also be like prevent such sad cases, prevention.
Anton, can you talk about your interest in this and sort of the challenge of, dealing with such a complicated subject? Did you hesitate at all when the project came to you?
Actually, I was very supportive to Veronika and Dusan in the beginning, because I believed in their choice of, let's say, the project, but the story as it is. It is very important to emphasize that it's not a true story. It's really, like Dusan said, it's based on a dense, more stories all around the world. And what was a real challenge, especially from production point of view, was this long takes. It was, let's say, a production nightmare, of course, because you have just one camera on the set. So if something goes wrong, you need to start again. And we started again many, many times.
Yeah, because there are just 9 cuts in the whole movie. And we started before adolescent. But
For me, that was a funny part. Like when they asked me, so you are acting, or do you have a role in that movie? I said, well, you know, truly, I have only one take, one shot. I'm only in one scene, but the movie is just made out of 9. So it's okay. It's okay to be just in one. I'm okay.
Can you talk about that experience of sort of being in the middle of the kind of orchestration of a scene that's so complicated?
Yeah, sure. Like I did the one scene, the court scene, which was technically one of the most challenging, and we really spent one day rehearsing, one day shooting, and even before that rehearsing, we met in Prague and read the script. And I know Tereza since she was studying in FAMU in Prague Film School, and I worked with her when she was a student because she was, you can see she's a character. She's very talented. She's very brave and honest, and like you want to, that's the girl. You want to work with her. Okay, so even if she asked me for that small part, I accepted it, and it was, we were all orchestrated, but you always have a solo, and then you have the orchestra. So, she was the conductor. Milan was the star, and for him it was the hardest scene, like emotionally, and I took it like very, I just served what I was, hired for, and I had to do it, and I did it with great pleasure and honor. So, but that was my one day only.
I want to ask the producers who wants to chime in about Milan, who plays Milan, the main actor. He's really astonishing in this performance. Truly, certain things are difficult to watch because he just feels so raw and visceral. So the first time I watched it, I was sort of really taken by the power of his performance. Talk about casting him. Was he always the only choice? Were there other folks that you consider? How did he come into the project?
I just started Veronika we follow because actually she was the one who called him. But there was no casting. We just know that it could be only him from like the Slovak actors. So for this role there was no casting also from Tereza's perspective. And Veronika can share a little story how she approached Milan for the first time for this project.
Yeah, actually, because we knew we want Milan, so it was like the most important thing we really needed to achieve. And we were discussing this with Tereza, and I was like, will you call him or I should call him? And she said, no, you will call him. So I said yes. I was preparing for the call maybe for 2 or 3 days. I was very scared because that's just one trial, and if he says no, I don't know what we would have done after that. And so I prepared something like pitch and told him this really short story. And then I was listening, and there was nothing on the other side. So I was like, did we put the phone off or I didn't know. So I was checking. There were seconds going and going. I was like, okay. And I asked him like, Milan, are you still there? And then I heard his breath. He was breathing very deeply, and I heard he is very, very moved. He's very moved, and he said like, yes, I want to do it. I have 3 kids, and I was thinking about this case. He heard about it in Slovakia, and it must be told, and I am with you, count me on. Count me in.
I don't know if you could give us a little context of who he is in Slovakia. Is he well known? Is he sort of one of the biggest stars in the country? What was he sort of the right person for this?
I always like to say it, even though it's maybe not needed, but he's a superstar, like a major star,
Okay.
and he's also very, very good comedian. Really, you wouldn't guess, but he's such a great talent that he can really go from the tragedy to like he would make you laugh so much. But I liked it because he's very like what's the word, like versatile. Yeah, it's just like I admire that.
I was just there that we started 5 years ago, and he was just starting his this star career. So now when we launched the movie, he's like a superstar, and there's also some commercials, so you can see him all around the country. But it was not in the situation 5 years ago, not so much. And I think what is really extraordinary of his performance is that it's not a performance, it's not acting. He just lived the character. And this is what makes a difference. On the set, he was so focused, you cannot approach him. During the breaks, he was just standing alone somewhere behind the wall and was just still inside. And it was super difficult because when you go 10 times or 12 times the same take like a courtroom, I cannot imagine how he could do it. It's really extraordinary.
And when we were in Venice for the screening, like for the opening, for this movie, I was sitting next to Milan, and I think he saw it for the first time.
Yes,
For the first time. And when all those scenes, like when it was like, the tension was rising, so he couldn't watch it, and he was like, he couldn't stand it, and not because of he was watching himself, but he was still like feeling the pain, like, because for him it wasn't just a character, it was like what happened. It was so alive.
Dušan, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your reaction to the performance when you first saw it, sort of bringing this screenplay to life.
I was also, on the set, so I was there. So I saw every scene many times, but I have to tell you that during rehearsing, also during the shooting, sometimes it was quite difficult for me, because I saw that once more and once more in front of my eyes, and it's not easy for me. I don't know how many times I already saw the film. I used to sit here together with audience because I want to know what are the reaction, how they feel it, etc. And I always understand how quiet is the room. And it's the same in Slovakia, here in US, in Italy, in Czech Republic. It's always the same atmosphere. And my personal feelings are always very strong when I see it. And I think that Tereza did it the best way how we can do that. So
Yeah,
satisfied.
maybe I would add, like, we all were there, like, also producers. We were on the set almost every day. And what is interesting, there was also with us editor for the whole shooting, and as well music composer. So we, at the end of the day, we saw the shots, also with some music and with the cuts, and the editor was there because it seems to be easy because there were just 9 cuts, but some of them are hidden. So we were rehearsing how to do the hidden cut, not to be seen. And that's why he spent with us 2 months. It's Nikodem Kajtor, he's from Poland. And it was very important to have him there to make it all. Yeah.
Maybe I would like to add that our expectations when we finished the film together with Tereza and all the team were not so big, so we understand what kind of film it is, that it's like to look at the sun, so you are always closing your eyes because you don't want to see the scenes like that or stories like that. And so, as I said, our expectations were very low. What is very nice is that the film was #1 for 6 weeks in Slovakia. So people understood it, and they went to the cinema, see it, and it was very surprising us.
It's still running. It's
Still running.
Yeah,
Still
it's
running.
It's
Still running. I have no last figures. Probably it is still #1, but I don't know.
Has it sparked any sort of conversations within the country about this? The original case and other cases that are similar to this? Are people more aware, perhaps? Or
A lot of conversation, but I'd like to say that the film made something very interesting. People are thinking about the situation like that absolutely differently. They are really feeling together with the main characters, with Milan and with Dominika, or Michal and Zuzana, and it definitely changed the meaning about the film, about the tragedy like that in in our country.
Before passing up to the audience, I wanted to ask about Dominika, about the character of Dominika. I think it's like you mentioned, very powerful that she sticks with him through the wars. I think in a different kind of film she would have left, and in the relationship, of course, suffers through it. But it is a very compassionate relationship that she has with him. Talk about the character and the actress that you guys cast.
We think this is also a story about love, very strong love, not romantic, not nice, but very, very strong.
You just said it, I want to highlight the word compassion. I think at the end, it's not just about this tragedy. It could be tragedy of any other kind, maybe. But what is really important and what stays also with the audience is this feeling, like to be find in yourself to be more human and compassion to each other. It's like second or third plan of the movie. And I think that is what really works around the world, because we also premiered in Rio de Janeiro 3 weeks ago at the Rio Film Festival, and it was such a lovely audience, and they get it, they get into the story, and I think this is like a universal message, let's say.
If anyone has any questions from the audience? Don't be shy. Okay.
You were talking about the fact that the composer was present during the filming. Can you elaborate? It's such a complex sound design. It's beautiful. It's all happening at once without that much time. I'm very curious how that worked out.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know if it's a question, he's really talented. I think he's one of biggest talents as a music composer in Slovakia. Yeah, he could do it. He was watching it, and then he created some piece which was, yeah, the shots, the scenes were much stronger with the music. We shot something, we watched it during the day, but when he added the music, so it was, for me, sometimes it was so strong that I couldn't breathe. I had tears in my eyes, and wow.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
I think we'll take one more question and then we'll head to the reception. Go ahead.
So if you heard some publicity about the film, you knew that there was some tragedy coming up. But if you hadn't heard anything about it, you might not know that there was a tragic event. And so because you saw it from the perspective of father, you wouldn't know when he dropped off his daughter at the daycare center. You thought everything was normal as going just a normal day, dropping his daughter off. But then you heard a heartbeat. So when I heard the heartbeat, I knew, because I knew there was some event that was a tragedy. I heard the heartbeat of Dominika, the daughter's heartbeat. And so was that something that was supposed to help the audience to sort of figure out that maybe something wasn't right if they didn't know there was a tragic event? What was the juxtaposition of the heartbeat versus the dropping off at the daycare center, and how do those two things play into each other?
Well, I don't know about the heartbeat. I will leave it up to you. But I think it's perfect that you are mentioning. I think it was the purpose, like that you, like an audience, you think everything is okay, and you still wait. Well, what's this movie going to be about? Like the kids, in the kindergarten. Father is at work. She's cooking, and then you realize that's the mistake. That's the syndrome. You just, something horrible happened, and you don't know about that until the moment you realize that it's all gone. And so it's perfect if you follow the story without expecting any tragedy. But then in a certain moment, you just have to realize that. And I presume that the heartbeat is just like a perfect, the sound, the notion that something is really, really wrong. But
It was something we were thinking about when we wrote a script together with Tereza, how to explain that your brain can produce false memories. And this was the idea, because in the beginning you see that little daughter is going to the kindergarten and nothing happened. And it was the critical moment, because we are, all of us, don't worry, not just our main character, all of us are producing false memories. Think about it. Sometimes You are telling about the story or something what happened, and people around you used to tell you, no, it wasn't like that.
We have to wrap because there's another screening to follow up, but thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you.